Greetings and abundant blessings upon you in Jesus' name. Fear God is a command. Obey that command in every aspect of your life. Daniel also feared God. Daniel 6:10. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home and in his upper room with his windows open towards Jerusalem, he knelt down on his knees 3 times that day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom since early days. The only way they can stop Daniel from worshiping God is by signing a decree. They knew that Daniel feared the Lord and they knew that he reverenced him on a daily basis, and they came against him, but it didn't work because Daniel continued to do what he's accustomed doing. He continued to demonstrate the fear of God in his life. Now, Daniel 6:16. So the king gave the command, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the lion's den. But the king spoke, saying to Daniel, your God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. How did the king know to say this? Because there was evidence that Daniel feared the Lord. And though they threw him into the lion's den, well, we know how the story came out. The lion did not touch him. Daniel said, when the king came back and said, did your God save you? He was excited that Daniel was not eaten by the lion because he knew and he believed that Daniel's God would be able to save him. And certainly he did. He saved Daniel. So Daniel was taken out of the lion's den and no injury whatsoever was found on him because he believed in his God. The fear that Daniel walked in towards his God, it was evident that they opposed him. It was evident, but the king knew that this God was able to save Daniel. And then, of course, another decree was passed and God was worshiped. God was reverenced. When we fear God and we reverence God, we are demonstrating to others and encouraging them to do the same, even the unbeliever. Moses also feared God. Moreover, he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. This experience is very similar to Isaiah when he said, I saw his train fill the temple. He was high and lifted up. And I said, woe am I, a man of unclean lips. When Moses came in to God's presence, he saw his majesty and he saw his holiness, but he also saw himself as undone and sinful. And he hid his face, but he didn't run away. He hid his face in reverence to God. Moses came into relationship with God and he spoke with God. He knew who he was and he knew who God was, and he reverenced God. In Exodus 20:18 to 21, the children of Israel, they pretty much ran away from God. They heard the thunder and they saw the lightning and the song of the trumpet, and the mountain was smoking, and they were trembling and they were like, Moses, you talk to me. I don't want God to talk to me because I may die. They were afraid of God. Israel was not living in accordance to what God commanded, so they had reason to be afraid. But Moses was saying to them, do not fear, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, so that you may not sin. So the people stood afar off, but Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. They were afraid and ran away from God. Moses feared God and drew near to God. God bless you.